Morning, Splyce fans. Marty here. I know it's been a while since I've had one of these, and I plan to do more now that we're moved into our new office. But today specifically, I had to come talk to you about something that we're making a change in that is important to you as fans, and I wanted to spend a little time talking about why. So today we're announcing that we are leaving the game of Hearthstone. It's a game that's been with us since almost the very beginning. In fact, Brian the Rat has been playing for us for, I think almost over 2 years now, if I think correctly. So Hearthstone was, I think, our third or fourth game we picked up. We were only about 3 months in as a team at that point. And it's a game we've spent a lot of time and focus on. And it's a game that I think has had an important part of what esports has become in the last couple of years, kind of its big growth, some of the big viewership numbers. I mean, Hearthstone has been one of the ones that very famously you could see two people casting a tournament from their bedroom and players playing from their homes with no webcams, and there's 40,000 concurrent viewers on a stream, which was awesome to see. For us, it came down to a few things when looking at the game. Number one, this game's been out a while now, and it's really seems to have gotten stuck. And what I mean by that is, if you look at games that are leveling up, they're growing, their scene is evolving, more structure comes into place, a much clearer idea of what the future of the game looks like competitively starts to formalize. You start to see legacy players build like these long-term legacies, for lack of a better term, of what their history they're going to leave behind in that game. And in Hearthstone, we're not seeing that. Some will blame it the random element of the game being a card game and the fact that Blizzard also added extra random elements to it. So we get major top players not repeating championships. We go to the regular qualifiers for Worlds, and there's tons and tons of names we've never seen before, and that's unusual, right? Like, you don't see that in Street Fighter, you don't see that in StarCraft, in other single-player games that have very clear the top players at the top, always competing. You have some sneak in, but as new hype players, someone like Punk in Street Fighter this year, right? Who could have expected he would have been one of the best all year long? And it's amazing to see that. But you don't have that across the board like you do in Hearthstone. The second thing is that single-player games in general are challenging. They're challenging to build personality, to build a brand around, when a single player leaving changes your entire brand, right? So if one player leaves your team and you bring another in, you have a different brand altogether, which is not necessarily the same as a League of Legends or Counter-Strike or Call of Duty team or something in a team game. And that makes it difficult to really start to build this story. And as we at Splyce are looking at how do we build the narrative of Splyce, and how do we shape this idea of what is Splyce to use a fan, it's important that we can think about for each game how that's going to feed into that narrative. And it's been really challenging with Hearthstone. And the final thing is that Hearthstone is a game, it unfortunately just doesn't look like it's going to hit that top tier like we once thought possible. A lot of the independent tournament organizers have stopped doing events. The events that are happening are becoming more and more online and less land-based, and people don't attend the events when they're there. They're not like events with lots of live attendees, which for me personally, as a massive Hearthstone fan, I play the game every single day pretty much on my phone. It's tough to see. But it's unfortunately the fact. So we've obviously had such a great time with everyone who's played Hearthstone for us. Our last two players, in Astrogation and the Rat, it's been great to watch them progress and have some really awesome finishes at these Dream Hacks lately, for example. And we hope they find an awesome new home. They're two great players. And they are free agents now, so if you're looking to pick up players, please do contact them. But for us personally, it is that time where we look at a game and say, now's the time to move on and focus our resources, because we have many other titles that could better utilize the brand growth, the focus on creating the storyline, things like that. In the end, I'll simply say it's not always about cash. It's not always about salaries. It's not always about tournament performance. Sometimes it's about simpler or more even more complex things like internal resources, social media, telling the story, how it fits with the brand. And in this case, that's where we left things. So as always, please feel free to leave comments in the comment section or tweet at me, tweet this, Splyce Twitter. Happy to talk about this, and appreciate any of your support you're able to give us as we transition. Thanks.